So guys, let us try to understand root server in detail. What is root server? Root server has information of all the websites all over the world. So there are total 13 root servers available all over the world. And the information about these root servers are available in DNS. So our India user wants to access the cisco.com. The request will go to India ISP. From India ISP, the request will go to Japan ISP. But this Japan ISP is not working fine. So this India ISP is having the information about nearest root server. Okay, it will try to contact the nearest root server. So our nearest root server in India is Japan. Okay, it is not an ISP. Okay, ISP is a separate thing, and root server is a separate thing. So it will forward the request to Japan root server. Okay, the nearest the information about the nearest root server is available here in the India ISP. Okay, the information about this root server is available in DNS server, and it is managed. These root servers, these 13 root servers all over the world, they are managed by ICANN, Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, and they are installed in different countries. They are physically connected with each other using fiber cable. Guys, they are installed in different countries and they are physically connected. These root servers, 13 root servers are physically connected. And the request will go to DNS server. DNS server it will check its cache. Okay. Here, the request will go to India DNS. India DNS will check its cache. Okay. Then it will use the forwarder. So India ISP doesn't have the information about cisco.com. Then it will use the forwarder to check, okay, what is the IP address. It will check the neighbor ISP, what is the IP ISP of cisco.com, and then it will send the request to, so it is not responding, then it will send the request to nearest root server. We have 13 root servers. The root server will check the request to its .com server. .com server has entry of ISP where Yahoo server is hosted or MS server is hosted or Cisco, whatever the .com server is available, it will check the request. Okay, if you see here, this is the India user, it will send the request to India ISP. India ISP will use the forwarder, and it is not responding. In that request will go to the nearest DNS root server. Okay, and it will check the request is for .com server, then it will forward the request to .com DNS. .com DNS will forward your request to cisco.com DNS to get the IP address. And guys, we have authoritative DNS and non-authoritative DNS. Let us try to understand the meaning of this authoritative DNS server. So authoritative DNS server, imagine, let me, here, let us say the user, there is one user in US itself. US user, and he wants to access the web server. The request will go to US DNS, and US DNS is having the information of this cisco.com. It will not use the cache, it will not use the forwarder, because this US ISP is hosting this Cisco website. Okay, it is called as authoritative DNS. Okay, the DNS which is having the information about the server, it is called as authoritative DNS. And this India ISP doesn't have the information about this web server, it is called as non-authoritative DNS. Let us say there is one website like geo.com. geo.com or any, yeah, geo.com. So this information is hosted in India ISP. Let us say the IP address is 2.2.2.2. Okay, so India user wants to open this geo.com. The request will go to India ISP, and India ISP is having the information about this geo.com, and it will, without checking the cache, without using the forwarder, it will send the IP address to India user. So this India ISP is the authoritative DNS for geo.com. And let us say one user in US who wants to access the geo.com, the request will go to the US ISP. US ISP will check its cache. If it is not available, then it will use the forwarder. It will forward the request to the UK ISP. UK ISP will forward the request to Japan ISP. Japan ISP will forward the request to India ISP. So here US ISP is non-authoritative DNS for geo.com. So how to access the website? To access the website, we need fully qualified domain name. What does it mean, fully qualified domain name? Server name plus domain name. So guys, this is the method. If you want to access the website, like you need to type this command. You will open the web browser and you will type server1 ms.com or cisco.com. Okay, this is how you will access the website. This is the method, but we use www.ms.com. We will see how it is changed to www. The actual method is this one, but we use this method. We will see how. So how to access the website? So let us say the server name of cisco.com is server-03 and the domain name is cisco.com. So India user will, or any user will, open the web browser and he will type this fully qualified domain name, server name plus cisco.com. So DNS lookup process. DNS lookup is a process. Let us see what is the meaning of lookup now. Lookup means is a process by which IP address of one DNS record is returned for a domain name by a server and vice versa. So lookup means if you want to know what is the IP address of DNS server, okay, so you will type the name, you will get the IP address. Or if you type the IP address, you will get the name. It is called as lookup. If we send the domain name, DNS server will provide the IP address. If we send the IP address, DNS server will provide the domain name. It is called as lookup. Guys, remember this terminology. It is very important terminology. So guys, we have two types of lookup. The first type is forward lookup. Forward lookup means it resolves the name to IP address. This is the user and this is the DNS server, and you want to know what is the IP address of google.com. So DNS server will send the IP address. It is called as forward lookup. Forward lookup means name to IP address. Then we have reverse lookup. What is the meaning of reverse lookup? You will provide the IP address. This is the user and he is providing the IP address to DNS server. DNS server will provide the domain name. It is called as reverse lookup.